Hi guys, Pigman10227 here, doing my third video of the day. Actually, this video is more geared towards how you set up a new tank and what to expect when it's coming. I won't go through the actual steps on how to set one up, but I've been talking to a guy online. I don't know his real name, but his YouTube name is MCDS87. Shout out to him. He's new to the fish tank scene, set up a 55-gallon tank, and he was asking me some questions online about it. So shout out to him, dude. This video is for you. Hopefully I can explain some things for you here. And you guys should go check out his tanks too. He's rocking and rolling on that, getting into the fish scene. It's always good to see new people coming in. So let me talk about a couple things. When you first set up a tank, you're going to need to cycle it. And bro, I don't know if you know about the nitrogen cycle or anything, but let me explain it to you in case you don't. When you first set up a tank, it needs to cycle, and what it's doing during that period is developing beneficial bacteria in the substrate, in the water, and in your filters. The nitrifying bacteria is called Autotrophic Bacteria. It's located within your filter, and it's the bacteria that transfers ammonia to nitrite, and eventually to the less harmless nitrate. The bacteria that's located down here in the gravel is your heterotrophic bacteria. They are, a lot of people think they're nitrifiers. They're technically not. They break down organic waste. He set up his tank. Everything's going good. And he's having some cloudy water. The dude, that's perfectly normal. He said it's like a milky color that's perfectly normal. What it is your heterotrophs are fatter and multiply quicker than your autotrophs. And when they multiply so quickly, they can't latch on to the gravel or whatever's down here in your substrate, so they float freely in the water column, causing the milky colored water. There's not much you can do about it. Some people say do water changes. When you actually look at how the heterotrophic bacteria will behave, water changes will do nothing because they would just multiply faster. You would actually have to do a 50% water change every 15 minutes just to stop the bloom from getting bigger. So there's not much you can do. The thing to do is to just hold off, and in a few days it'll clear itself up. But the bacteria doesn't harm fish. If you have a bacteria bloom while your fish is in there, it doesn't harm them. But what it does is the bacteria require a lot of oxygen and take up a lot of your deoxygenated water within the tank. So your fish can become oxygen deprived. You'll start to see them hanging at the top and whatnot. Again, you just kind of got to let it run its course. A little improved aeration with some bubblers or whatever is never a bad thing during the course of that. I'm just kind of panning around here, giving you guys a shot of my tank. So when the nitrogen cycle starts, you either have to have fish, snails, whatever. Okay, you just got to have something live in there, something that produces waste. A lot of people just use cheap fish. Zebra Danios is a great fish. They're nice and hardy. Excuse me. They're nice and hardy. They only cost about 69 cents. So a lot of people use those. Some people use tetras, cheap goldfish, whatever. I prefer to use snails. Because obviously my tank houses goldfish, and there's not many other fish that can get along with goldfish. Well, it's not that they don't get along, it's the goldfish are so dirty that the waste will kill them. So I use snails. You just need, 3, 4, 5, depending on how big your tank is. I know my dude that I'm sending this out for has a 55. A few snails and a few fish will be more than plenty to cycle that tank, man. And yeah, just wait to put them in there till your water clears up. It should clear up in a few days. I know you were talking about a smell, dude. It's perfectly normal, especially when the nitrogen cycle starts. When you first put fish in there, there's not bacteria to break down their waste. So your ammonia levels will start to rise. That's where test kits come in and stuff like that. Let me show you one. This is the kind I use. The label's gone, but this is what it looks like. You can buy it at pretty much any pet store. It's the API Master Test Kit. You test ammonia, nitrite, pH, all that stuff. Nitrate is not a bad thing. Okay. Okay, well, let me just explain it like this. So when you put your fish in there, they'll start to give off waste that turns into ammonia. Well, then as your tank ages and cycles, the bacteria will start to break down the ammonia and turn it into nitrite. Nitrite is still very dangerous to fish. So your ammonia will spike, then your nitrite will spike, and then both of them will drop off. When they start to drop off, you'll see your nitrate start to rise. Nitrate is not nearly as harmful to fish as ammonia and nitrite. During the course of all this, it's going to take about 4 to 6 weeks. You're going to want to avoid doing water changes and whatnot, because that's just going to prolong the cycling period. So when your ammonia and nitrate spike and drop off, and your nitrate reaches somewhere around 40 parts per million, your tank is officially cycled and ready for fish. During that period, you're going to see your water. You may get bacteria blooms, man. You might get some cloudy water here and there. You'll start to get an ammonia smell coming off the water. It'll have a mild odor. It'll smell quite a bit different than what you're smelling now. I know you were talking about like a more natural smell. That's just water that's been sitting for a while, dude. Just, you know, it's cycling. It's going good. Your filter's working fine. You don't need to change any of that stuff. So after your tank cycles, you can start adding fish. You don't want to add fish like all at once, man. 2 or 3 at a time, and you'll be good to go. If you add a whole bunch, you can overstock the tank, and because it's still relatively new, things can be kind of bumpy for the first 2 or 3 months until the tank is like fully established. During the course of the cycling, don't be surprised if you get a brown algae that grows all over everything, man, all over your gravel, all over your decorations. It's going to look like crap. You can go in and clean it if you want. When you do, expect to stir up a bacteria bloom, but whatever you do, do not do water changes. It's just part of what happens, man. So that's what to expect in the